Have you noticed just how much more we seem to be interacting with AI tools lately?
Oh, absolutely. They're everywhere.
Right. Like from getting quick answers on shopping sites with chatbots or, asking your phone for directions. These aren't just sort of cool gadgets anymore, are they?
Not at all. They feel pretty integral now, making things faster, simpler.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today on the deep dive. We're looking at the engine behind all this, the global conversational AI software market. We're going to unpack its, well, frankly, explosive growth. We'll figure out what's really fueling it and where the biggest changes are happening globally.
That was good.
Our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights from the latest market forecasts so you can quickly grasp what's going on without getting lost in, tons of data. So let's start with the big picture. Back in 2021, this market was already valued at what, over $4.6 billion?
Which is already pretty substantial.
Right. But here's where it gets kind of mind-blowing. It's projected to hit over $8 billion by 2025 and then climb to just a staggering $23.8 billion by 2033.
Wow. Okay, that's serious growth.
It really is. That's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of almost 15%. That signals just phenomenal expansion.
And 14.62% is a huge number year over year.
So what's behind this huge momentum? Well, fundamentally, it seems to be about advanced AI,
Huh.
enabling real-time customer engagement and automating enterprise tasks. We're talking about everything, right? From the chatbots helping you shop to like sophisticated AI voice assistants, virtual agents handling support calls, that kind of thing. Okay, so we see this massive, just exponential growth. What exactly is driving this? Why are these tools becoming so, well, indispensable?
Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is that it's not just a tech trend in isolation. It's really a response to these fundamental shifts in how businesses have to operate now and what consumers expect.
Oh,
At its core, conversational AI, it relies on powerful stuff like natural language processing, NLP, machine learning.
right.
And this basically lets machines understand and, interpret and even generate human language in a way that actually makes sense. It allows for really dynamic interactions.
Sure.
So this growth, it's directly tied to that broader digital transformation we see everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the increasing demand, we all feel it, right? For instance, intuitive, personalized service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Businesses using these tools, they can offer 24/7 support. They can handle just huge volumes of inquiries and even personalize interactions at a scale that was, frankly, unimaginable before. It's efficiency meeting expectation, really.
That makes total sense. Businesses are seeing they can't afford not to integrate these solutions
That's
anymore.
exactly.
And if we look at where this growth is most concentrated, North America has really cemented itself as the powerhouse leader. It generated over, what, $1.8 billion back in 2021.
Hmm.
And that's projected to just skyrocket to over $8.4 billion by 2033, still holding a really strong CGR, nearly 14%.
Yeah, 13.75%. And within North America, it's no surprise the U.S. accounts for the lion's share, right? It's really
Yeah.
driving that regional growth.
Right.
But Canada's also seeing very solid adoption. Their market's set to grow almost 5 times over this period, too.
But here's where it gets really interesting, I thought, in North America. Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico is actually showing the most rapid expansion. It's leading the region with a CEGR getting close to 16%.
Wow, 15.757%. That's significant.
Yeah. Its market is expected to grow from just over $120 million in 2021 to over $700 million by 2033. I mean, what do you think is fueling that kind of acceleration specifically in Mexico?
Well, that rapid pace in Mexico is a fantastic example of a developing digital economy really jumping on these technologies. Often it comes down to a mix of things, like a large young population that's, digitally native,
Right.
increasing smartphone use, and also a big push by businesses to sort of leapfrog older tech and just offer more efficient modern services straight away.
Skipping a step,
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. It's a prime example of where you see rapid digital transformation translating directly into conversational AI adoption.
Okay. So moving across the Atlantic then, Europe, also seeing diverse but pretty robust growth, right?
Definitely. The European market started around $1.2 billion in 2021, and it's projected to hit over $6.1 billion by 2033. So
Yeah.
it's still a very healthy 14% or so KGR
Mhm.
overall.
And within Europe, we see those, familiar big players driving significant numbers. The UK, Germany, France, all set to see their markets grow more than 4 times their 2021 size.
Italy and Russia are also strong contributors. each looking at well over $500 million by 2033.
But are there any other European countries showing like particularly interesting trends? Anything that stands out?
Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
while those big economies drive the volume,
Mm.
if you look at the pace of growth, Spain's actually leading with one of the highest KGRs in Europe.
Yeah.
It's approaching 16%.
16%.
Yeah, growing to nearly $500 million. And maybe surprisingly, Denmark shows an even higher CGR, over 16.4%.
Denmark.
Yeah. And even this sort of rest of Europe category,
Hmm.
that shows a really significant jump too, around 16.3% CGAG. So it tells us that widespread adoption is happening across the smaller European markets too, not just the giants. The demand for efficient, automated communication is just it's pervasive, regardless of market size.
That really paints a picture of a widespread digital shift across the whole continent. Okay, now let's pivot to Asia Pacific.
Right.
Because this region is, I mean, hands down, the fastest growth engine globally for this tech. It started at just over $1 billion in 2021, expected to reach an absolutely staggering $6.2 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR over 16.2%. It's just remarkable.
It really is. And within APAC, China obviously dominates in sheer revenue. Its market's projected to surge from about $340 million to over $2.2 billion by 2033. That's a robust 16.8% CAGR.
Huge numbers.
But here's probably the most intriguing nugget for you listening, and really a crucial detail for understanding the global picture. India. India is a major player, and it boasts the highest CGR, not just in APAC, but globally. An incredible 17.5%.
Wow, 17.5%. That's huge.
It is. Its market is set to grow from around $127 million to nearly $900 million.
Okay, hold on. What makes India such a standout? Why that incredibly fast rate of adoption compared to everywhere else?
Yeah, that's a great question. India's rapid growth, it's driven by a few unique things converging. You've got this enormous tech-savvy, mobile-first population.
Right. Mobile first is key there.
Definitely. They've largely bypassed some of the older internet infrastructure. Then you add in the widespread adoption of digital payments, government pushes for digitalization, and critically, a hugely diverse linguistic landscape. Think about all the languages and dialects.
Ah, okay. So AI is needed to handle that complexity.
Exactly. Conversational AI offers a scalable way to serve this vast, diverse consumer base, often in their own language. That's fueling exceptional growth. And, beyond India and China, we also see really significant steady growth in places like Japan, South Korea, Australia. Southeast Asia shows really strong promise, too. And economies like Singapore and Taiwan are also posting impressive numbers. It just reflects that whole region's big digital push.
It's clear, yeah, this digital shift is happening everywhere. Let's maybe shift focus slightly to some of the rapidly emerging markets now. They're also making pretty significant strides here.
Absolutely. Beyond the big three regions, we're seeing strong, consistent growth across South America, the Middle East, and Africa, too. Take South America expanding from around $245 million in 2021 to over $1.3 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR over 15%.
Still very strong.
Very strong. And Brazil leads the charge there, going from about $100 million to nearly $600 million. But you also see promising growth in Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile, all in that 14 to 15.5% CAGR range.
Okay. And what about the Middle East and Africa? Any particular hotspots there?
The Middle East is definitely one to watch. Projected to grow from about $200 million in 21 to over $1 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR, just over 15.2%.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia is a key driver, its market growing to over $400 million. Turkey's close behind, heading towards $215 million. But if you're looking for a real standout in terms of growth rate, Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah, posting a remarkable 16.6% CAGR. That's the highest in the region. It probably reflects, significant investment in digital infrastructure, smart city projects, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
And Africa. Africa's on a notable path, too, rising from $120 million in 2021 to nearly $600 million by 2033. Nigeria leads with about a 14% CAGR, and South Africa is also a major player.
Right.
The common thread, really, in these emerging markets is often that combination of a rapidly expanding middle class, rising internet access, and just a clear need for efficient digital solutions to scale up businesses and services quickly. So if we try and, connect all these dots, these numbers, they aren't just about market value, are they? They really represent a fundamental worldwide shift in, user experience and enterprise efficiency.
How so?
Companies are just leveraging this AI to scale operations, provide that 24/7 support we talked about, offer personalized interactions, things that were just impossible before or impossibly expensive. It's really reshaping the whole competitive landscape.
So pulling it back to the listener, what does all this really mean for you? Well, it means these technologies are making information just way more accessible than ever before, right?
Hmm.
Think about getting instant answers to maybe quite complex questions, or streamlining those boring customer service tasks, or even just making daily life easier with, simple voice commands. This explosion of conversational AI is fundamentally changing how you interact with brands, with services, even with your own devices, really, every single day.
And this raises, I think, an important question for us to think about. As these interactions become more and more sophisticated, more ubiquitous,
Hmm.
how will our own expectations adapt?
Good question.
Will we start demanding even more natural, maybe more human-like conversations from these AI? Or will we get so used to the efficiency, the speed and accuracy that maybe we value that more than human nuance in certain contexts?
That's interesting. Will efficiency trump personality?
Maybe.
Something to watch.
So to kind of wrap things up, the main takeaway is pretty clear. The global conversational AI software market is seeing exponential, truly global growth. It's fundamentally reshaping how we as humans interact with machines. Driven by deep AI integration, advanced voice tech, and just this huge waves of digital transformation across every sector imaginable, retail, healthcare, finance, you name it. Yeah, it's massive. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given this projected explosion of conversational AI, its pervasive global reach, how might our everyday communication, even our problem-solving habits, actually evolve by, say, 2033? Beyond just the convenience and efficiency gains, what deeper societal shifts or even personal shifts could these increasingly sophisticated automated conversations bring about? How might it change the very fabric of our interactions, not just what we do, but maybe how we think and connect? Something to ponder. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really taking a plunge into something that's changing how you interact with tech every single day. I'm talking about the rapidly expanding world of conversational software. We have this really fascinating market analysis here, and our mission basically is to pull out the key insights. What's driving it, what the challenges are, maybe some surprising ones, and the trends that are really shaping things. You may not even clock it, but yeah, you're probably talking to AI systems quite a bit already. Think banking apps, online shopping.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. And our plan today is to unpack what's really giving this market its momentum. Then we'll look at some of the maybe less obvious hurdles slowing things down a bit. And finally, we'll peek into the future, which honestly looks incredibly promising. This tech is moving so fast.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's dive straight into those primary forces, the big drivers behind this significant growth in conversational software. When you look at what's fueling it, the first thing that jumps out is just how much more we're using virtual assistants and chatbots. Businesses are really changing how they communicate, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. It's a major shift. They're getting tangible benefits.
Like what specifically?
Well, think about it. You get 2047 customer interaction. That's huge. And that can really slash operational costs. We're seeing figures, maybe up to 30% reduction in support costs in some cases. Plus, the response times, they're just drastically better. You go from hours, sometimes days, down to seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. And certain sectors are really leading this charge, right? Banking, e-commerce, telecoms, even healthcare. High volume stuff, it's moved beyond being a nice to have. Honestly, these tools are becoming indispensable. It's just part of the modern digital service landscape. They meet that basic need for availability and, frankly, cost effectiveness.
Right. So, okay, the AI is getting better at understanding us. That seems key. What specific breakthroughs in, say, natural language processing NLP have been the most impactful, making these systems less, robotic?
Yeah, that's a great point because that's where the real smarts come in. The big leap isn't just NLP in isolation. It's how NLP is working together with advanced speech recognition and also sentiment analysis that's become quite sophisticated.
Sentiment analysis, so understanding the feeling behind the word.
Exactly. We're talking about new models, like transformer models you might have heard about. They let the AI go way beyond just spotting keywords. Now it can actually grasp semantic meaning, figure out the context, even infer the kind of complex intent behind what someone's saying or typing.
Okay.
And then you add multilingual support on top of that. Suddenly, AI interactions feel much more fluid, more intuitive, honestly, remarkably human-like sometimes. It allows companies to connect with diverse global audiences in a way they just couldn't before. It's really about building trust through better understanding.
And that improved understanding must feed into another huge driver. You mentioned this growing need for customer support automation. Businesses are just drowning in queries, it feels like. And we, as customers, we expect answers instantly now.
Precisely. Yeah, the sheer volume is immense.
Yep.
It's overwhelming for a lot of the old support models. So this is where these AI systems really step up. They streamline support. And yes, it reduces customer wait times, which is great. But maybe more importantly, we see companies cutting down agent handling time for those routine, repetitive questions by, say, up to 40%.
40%, that's huge.
It is. And what that does is free up their human agents. They can then focus on the really complex stuff, the high priority issues, the situations that need empathy. So your customer service team becomes less of an answering service and more like an expert problem-solving unit.
Right.
Taking a wider view, it just boosts overall efficiency and, crucially, makes customers happier.
Okay, so those are some powerful forces pushing things forward. But it's not all smooth sailing, right? This kind of rapid growth always comes with challenges. Let's talk about the flip side. What are some of the restraints or maybe the reefs hidden under the water here?
Definitely. Yeah, there are definitely hurdles.
One that immediately comes to mind is data privacy. These systems are handling a lot of sensitive stuff.
That's a huge one. Absolutely critical. And it's not just about, keeping data secure, like encryption. It's navigating this incredibly complex web of global privacy laws. Think GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California, and others popping up. It gets really tricky. How do you handle a right-to-be-forgotten request when someone's data is threaded through countless chat logs? Or data residency, where is the data actually stored when conversations cross borders?
I hadn't even thought of that complexity.
Yeah, it's a major headache, technically and legally, for anyone developing these systems. And it's obviously amplified massively in sectors like finance or healthcare.
Yeah.
Their data sensitivity and security are just non-negotiable. You can't mess it up.
And it's not just legal hurdles, is it?
Yeah.
There's a pretty significant financial barrier, too. These systems promise savings down the line, but getting them set up, that takes serious upfront investment.
It really does. And that initial cost can feel like a brick wall for some businesses.
What does that investment actually cover? It's not just the software, right?
No, not at all. You need high-quality training data, and lots of it, for the AI to learn properly. That can be expensive to acquire or create. Then there's the IT infrastructure servers, cloud resources, all that. And crucially, integrating it smoothly with all the existing systems a business uses, CRM, databases, you name it. That integration piece can be really complex and costly.
Right.
So for many small or medium-sized businesses, even if they can see the long-term ROI, that initial outlay is just. It's a major barrier to getting started. It requires careful strategic planning and budget.
Okay, and then there's a challenge I think maybe many of us have bumped up against personally. Even with all the progress, AI still struggles with the nuances of human conversation, right?
Yes, that's still a significant limitation. It raises that question, how truly human-like can these interactions really get, at least for now?
What kind of nuances are we talking about?
Well, things like sarcasm. Imagine an AI trying to interpret, oh, great service, when the person clearly means the opposite. It's tough.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or picking up on subtle emotional shifts during a long, complex chat. Or handling questions that have multiple parts, multiple intents, all tangled together. When the AI misses those cues, the result can be, well, a pretty frustrating user experience. And if that happens repeatedly, it erodes trust. And that's especially risky in those high-stakes areas we mentioned, like mental health support bots or financial advice. Clarity and empathy are absolutely vital there. It's kind of the final frontier for the tech, making it truly intuitive.
Okay, so hurdles exist. Privacy, cost, understanding nuance. But despite those, you said the future looks incredibly promising. Let's shift gears to the trends that are really shaping what's next. What's leading the charge?
Well, one of the biggest trends, I think, is integration with what we call omni-channel platforms.
Omni-channel, meaning like across all the different ways we interact with the company.
Exactly. Businesses know that you, the customer, want a consistent experience, whether you're on their website, using their mobile app, messaging them on WhatsApp, or even reaching out on social media.
Right. It's annoying having to repeat yourself.
Precisely. So these conversational tools are now being embedded across all those touch points. The goal is that the system knows who you are and what you were talking about previously, no matter how you connect this time. It provides that seamless, coherent interaction that feels much more personalized. It sort of anticipates your needs based on past context.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and speaking of anticipating things, I've been hearing more about AI that can detect emotions. You mentioned sentiment analysis earlier. Tell me more about emotion AI.
Yeah, this is really fascinating stuff. It's a step beyond just understanding the words, it's about understanding the feeling behind them.
How does it work?
Well, these newer platforms are incorporating features that analyze vocal tone, the pace of speech, word choice, even facial expressions if video is involved, to gauge mood and intent in real time.
Wow. So what's the application?
Think about customer service. If the AI detects you're getting frustrated, it could automatically offer to transfer you to a human agent or
Yeah.
maybe change its own conversational style to be more empathetic.
Ah,
It opens the door for much more responsive, intelligently personalized conversations. It's super valuable, not just in customer service, but think about initial healthcare interactions or maybe HR support tools, anywhere that bit of emotional intelligence really matters for a good outcome.
that's pretty cool. And then the final trend you wanted to touch on.
Yes, the big one, the rise of voice. Voice enabled commerce and just general smart device integration.
Yeah, talking to our phones or speakers. It feels much more normal now.
It absolutely does. And that signals a really major shift in how we behave as consumers. It's not just smart speakers like Alexa or Google Home anymore. Think about voice assistants in your car, on your smartwatch, maybe even built into your appliances soon.
Right.
Conversational AI is becoming central to how we manage our lives. It offers that hands-free convenience for, setting reminders, checking schedules, making purchases, ordering food, all just by speaking. It really points to accessibility and ease becoming the expected standard for interacting with technology.
So bringing this all together then, what's the big picture takeaway? The conversational software market. It's not just growing, it feels like it's fundamentally evolving.
Exactly. It's a profound evolution. You've got this constant push from technological innovation, making the AI smarter. Then you have rising customer expectations. We all want instant, personalized help now. And combine that with the demand for interaction across every single channel in real time, it's really laying the groundwork for what intelligent communication will look like across, well, pretty much every industry you can think of.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. As this conversational AI gets woven ever more tightly into our daily routines, how might it change us? How might our own ways of communicating, maybe even our relationships with technology, transform in ways we can't quite grasp today? Will we start trusting AI with deeper, more complex parts of our lives, or will that human touch always be the gold standard for genuine connection? Something to ponder.